Keep it going, come on. We drinking tonight? Drinking? Fuck sober January. I'm doing sober January. The LA version, Coke and Molly only. Coke and Molly only. Keeping it sober. Taking it light. Now I gotta stop drinking. I knew I gotta stop drinking on New Year's. This is how I knew. On New Year's, got blackout drunk, passed out with my shoes on. You know what that means. Weirdest thing, next morning, woke up to find a forehead drawn on my penis. What? There's a sign you gotta stop drinking. Gotta make a change in 2019. Thought about getting a tattoo, switch it up. Thought about getting a tattoo of a black dick on my dick, you know? So it'd look bigger, you know, but they said it wouldn't fit, so.
Uneducated, unfiltered, unhinged. This is the Mangina Dialogues. We at it again with your host Nick Scopes and the Gregolicious. You know how we do, cause you know we keeping it gangster and silly. Unplugged like a full swung titty. Bout get jitty, cause you know we down to the nitty and the gritty. And we make shit sound so damn pretty. Yeah, cause this unhinged comedy. And right now you're in the mix, so get ready, cause we bout to get it poppin'. And we ain't stopping.
Uneducated, unfiltered, unhinged. This the Mangina Dialogues. We at it again. Yeah, we at it again. Uneducated, unfiltered, unhinged. This the Mangina Dialogues. We at it again. Yeah, we at it again. Yeah.
Welcome to the Mangina Dialogues. I am your host, Nick Scopes.
And I'm the Gregolicious.
You're so masculine.
Today we have a super special guest all the way from sunny Los Angeles, California via the dial-in hotline. Stand-up comedian, very tall guy.
Lean.
Bird scooter extraordinaire. Jahan Djo. Say hi.
Thank you for having me.
What's up, Jahan? We're on the FaceTime app on Grindr. That's all I got.
Well, definitely a good segue for my dick joke.
If there's one thing we know how to do, it's segue into dick jokes.
Yeah, that's like the only thing I know how to do in life.
So listen, I think we want to jump right into it and talk about how amazing you are on a bird scooter.
Oh, God.
I was trying to explain to Nick what happened, and I definitely didn't do it justice, but I did start with bird scooter, and I ended with stitches.
So I got 7 stitches in my forehead from a bird scooter. There's nothing crazy about it. I just slipped and fell, and I hit my head on the cement. I was going to a friend's house, and we were going to go to this bar to day drink for her birthday. And being the nice guy I am, I got her a breakfast sandwich. So I'm birding with this breakfast sandwich in my hand. I get all the way to her apartment, and I'm just crossing the crosswalk and just lost control of the scooter, hit the ground. I get pissed off that nobody helped me. Not one person in the vicinity stopped what they were doing. They just continued on with their day, which pissed me off. I touch my head. I'm pouring blood. I grab the sandwich. I run up to her apartment. I'm freaking out. She takes me to urgent care. I was like, so bad. What's going on? They're like, do I need an ambulance? Do I need an ambulance? And they're like, well, we can call an ambulance, but I don't think you need it. I was like, you're right. That sounds expensive. Let's just do that here. Let's just do it here. So they stitched me up, sent me home. And she never ate the sandwich.
That bitch.
But did anybody eat the sandwich?
To this day, I don't know what happened to the sandwich.
That is unfortunate.
I love that no one helped you.
How'd the date end, actually? Like, what happened at the end of the date?
They, well, she was like, I still need to go to my birthday party at the bar. So she dropped me off at home, and I just sat in shame. And then my parents came and picked me up.
That sounds like my prom. Ended in blood. My parents had to come get me.
Perfect. Our most pathetic guest so far. Love it. That was great.
So how's LA this morning?
Quiet. Sunday morning, the city's yours if you get up early enough.
No action on the VW lot?
No, not so much this morning, but that Starbucks across the street, always a nice scene over there.
What's this VW? What happened? Go ahead.
I live right next to a Volkswagen dealership. I mean, I'm looking at my window right now, and there's a couple looking at a Touareg, a green Touareg.
Just yell out, "Fucking losers!"
That's the life of a stand-up.
I do heckle them. They're like, this Volkswagen gets 23 miles to the gallon. I'm like, liar. No one does it.
As long as they're not buying a Cabrio, that's fine. That's easily the worst Volkswagen ever made.
Is that why it doesn't exist anymore?
Yeah, I would say so. It's just, it's super, it's the worst.
He does live literally in the parking lot of a Volkswagen dealership.
Lives in the back seat of a Passat.
And in definitely one of the most interesting Starbucks CVS parking lots that you'd ever come by.
Why is that? A lot of characters?
A lot of characters.
It's unique. I was picking him up the other night to go to the Comedy Store, and I got there a little early, so I'm like, I'll go get a coffee. I walked in, and a homeless guy on an iPad asked me for money.
That's
great. Newer iPad than I have.
What?
Yeah, and then I'm walking out, and a lady on her phone asked me if she could borrow my phone so she could call her parents.
What? Dude. Yeah. LA is fucking weird. I've never been, but it sounds ridiculous. Like, just the people. Are you from there, Jahan? You from California?
I'm from California, born and raised in Orange County, and then came to school up here in LA, and I've been here since.
What school did you go to?
I went to UCLA.
Bruins Nation.
Nice, dude. What'd you study?
Yeah.
What'd you study?
Fuck the Trojans.
Hey, man, political science.
Wow.
And I have an unfinished minor in theater.
I knew there was something coming. I knew there was some sort of.
How's that political science working out for you?
It's great for corporate life, I'll tell you.
You have a job during the day? Like a corporate job?
I do have a job.
What do you do?
I have a corporate job. I work at a media company. I actually work with the Gregolicious professionally.
Awesome.
And also semi-professionally. It depends on what context you're asking.
That's cool. How'd you get into stand-up?
So my stand-up career, if you can call it that, started in high school. We had there's this improv theater called Comedy Sports, which is like it's like UCB or Groundlings, but not as famous, and the people aren't as talented. But they have a theater in North Hollywood, I think, and they basically have like this satellite high school program up and down, in the Southern California area. I think they have a couple Northern California high schools, and so they'll send down. They basically set it up like a league. It's supposed to be like two teams competing against each other. It's like Comedy Sports. So they shout out to Comedy Sports LA, by the way, for giving me my start. Woo. And they each high school.
Yeah, we have a soundboard, Jahan. So
thanks for the heads up that we're experimenting with the soundboard today.
Well, by the way, our we didn't mention, not that we talk about it often, but our third wheel who manages our soundboard is a sound guy. He called in sick today.
Yeah. Oh. So he's fired. He's not going to get free lunch.
Yeah, he's usually in charge of the laugh track and the track that is Nick's favorite.
Nah, this is my favorite. This is my favorite. No, not that. What the fuck? You changed it? Yeah, that one.
Oh, you could have played that after my dick joke.
We'll use it again. Don't worry. I have confidence.
So go ahead. You're You're
So they do,
you're a gay theater kid. Get it? All right.
They do high schools, right? So they brought it. My buddy, who's actually the host of the show that you played the clip from, he brought, like, he had founded the group at our high school. So it actually wasn't that many theater kids. So I thought it was cool, and it was a big deal at our high school. And so I auditioned the next year, and I didn't make the team. I thought this was like my thing, and then I didn't make it. I basically begged to, like, be on the team, and they brought me in for a workshop, and then I just like excelled from there. And then I ended up becoming the president of our team at our high school, and I wrote my college essays on that experience. And then I went to, like, a comedy camp, and I just really dove in. And then at the camp, I actually was the first time I did stand up, and it went really well. And then I started doing, stand up in college, and just ever since then did less improv. So I have formal training in improv.
Very cool. Awesome, dude. So you went from towel boy to superstar.
Pretty much.
Just like Alex Rodriguez. Anyway.
Do you remember what your first joke was? Your first set?
First set, I actually did do stand up in high school, and I just, like, ripped a bunch of other people's jokes. Which I don't like to, I considered myself like the cover band of stand up comedians, where I was just
I only do top 40. That's it. I only do 80s Joel.
Yeah. I did do this joke about my eyebrows, because I got thick eyebrows. One of the jokes in high school was like, some girls get lost in my eyes. Most girls get lost in my eyebrows. So make fun of me all you want, but these caterpillars are going to be beautiful butterflies one day, all right?
You weren't, like, channeling. I picture you in your first set, like, doing, like, Seinfeld, like, what's the deal with blah, blah, blah.
Very green comedy back then. Good times. There's a joke that I still use from high school, one of my favorite jokes, which is like, we have a lot of weird driving laws here in California. Nick, I'm sure you're unaware. Did you know that it's actually illegal to drive without shoes on? Yeah, I actually got a ticket for driving without shoes on. Wasn't wearing a shirt or pants either, but that is beside the point.
They really harp on the shoes. Like, hey, it's fine your dick's out, but you don't have shoes on, man. That's where we draw the line here in LA.
Yeah, that'll be a point on your record.
Are you vegan? We'll let you go. Perfect. Some shit like that.
So yeah, still going.
How often are you doing it?
So my New Year's, I stopped for a while. We were producing a show called The Big Show here in LA, which was at the Hollywood Improv. We were getting some big names. I kind of took a back seat, more, helping produce the show, helped write a lot of jokes for my buddy who's the host, and then just kind of tailed off on performing. And then I got back into it last year from maybe like a 3-4 year hiatus. And then this year was my resolution was to do it a lot more. So I was doing a lot more stand-up earlier this year. I just got up last week. Probably trying to get up like once a month. I should be getting up more, but tough out here. A lot of comedians.
Tell us about the Big Show. You did that at the Hollywood Improv?
Yeah, so we, my buddies and I, we all were in comedy sports together in high school. Those two guys, they actually went to USC. So we always kind of fantasized about starting our own show, and they spearheaded starting the show at this bar at the USC campus. And they called it Scomedy, like SC Comedy. And I performed on that show, was on the same set as like TJ Miller and Gerard Carmichael. This was back when they were not as big as they were. Dov Davidoff did the show. Dimitri Martin did the show. So we were getting like, we would go to the comedy clubs a lot and recruit for this show. We finally decided to like take it to Hollywood. The very first Big Show ever was at the Comedy Store, actually in the main room. And we like bussed a bunch of people out. I think, the pitch was like, we'll fill up the room if you guys let us do this show. And then we did. but we didn't at the time. The Comedy Store wasn't as hot as it is now. Like right now, it's like the golden time for the Comedy Store.
Yeah, for sure.
We had taken it to the Improv. I think they had just remodeled, so it was super nice. It was like it's a little bit of a classier venue. Like they have tables. And we just did it, and it picked up steam. You know, like it was a 10:00 show on Thursdays, about once a month, and we would just get the biggest names, and other comedians would hear about like this filled up room, and would just drop in. So it kind of it picked up. It had momentum, and so we've been doing that show for about 6 years now. So pretty solid. I mean, we've had every big name: Gaffigan, Dane Cook, Chris D'Elia's a regular, Adam Ray. I mean, you name it, they've done the big show. Pretty impressive.
Dope.
Pretty incredible. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just here with Greg. Fuck. Everything in my life.
Has Jahan done the big show?
I've done the big show. I actually did the 5-year anniversary. It was like the first time I came back. It was my like triumphant return to stand up was the 5-year anniversary show on the big show, and it was like completely packed, standing room only, like D'Elia's headlining, Brian Callen. I mean, it's like all these huge names are on the show. And like I had done one set of all brand new material 2 weeks before that, like during the day at at like a comedy festival. And so I'll never forget. I was like looking at my girlfriend right before I was supposed to go out, my girlfriend at the time. And I'm looking at her, and we make eye contact, and I gave her this look like, I'm going to go puke outside, and I'm going to just run away. Like, no one knew who I was. Like, I was thinking, I was like, if I just run away, like, no one knows who I am. I could just vanish, and it'll be fine, you know?
That's how I feel before every show, too. I'm like, no one's good. If no one shows up, it's fine. I don't know. Maybe get canceled. Maybe there's a tornado. It'll be all right.
And I come back on stage, like I literally went outside and like took deep breaths and then came back inside and walked straight up on stage and just crushed for 5 minutes.
Oh, that's
awesome.
awesome.
It was
so you got to do 5 minutes.
Yeah, I did about 5. I only had about 5 minutes because I did like all new material.
Right.
And I was like, I got to get back into stand-up comedy. That was really fun.
Yeah. Who else was on that besides you and D'Elia?
I think Brian Callen was on the show. Adam Ray. I have to look back. I kind of blacked out. You know how it goes.
Yeah, I do. I'm very new, but I know how it goes.
So were you the only one on that who didn't, who wasn't like seasoned?
Yeah. It was kind of a make or break. Like if you bomb, like maybe you should just never do comedy again. It was kind of like one of those things, but I didn't. So I was like, I got to keep going. And D'Elia was like, great job. And people were coming up to me, dude, you were the best set of the night. So I was like, I got to go. I got to do this more often.
And when was that show? That was last year, 19?
That was
or earlier this year.
That was about a year ago, 1 year ago.
So you follow that up by taking a break.
Well, it's hard,
So you're a lazy piece of shit, huh? You don't want to ride the wave.
All those compliments, and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna just chill for a bit.
Yeah, Brian Callen and Chris D'Elia told me I was the best set of the night, or whatever. You know what? Time to retire. You're going out on top like fucking Peyton
Going
Manning,
out on
dude.
top.
You're going to be a Trivia Pursuit question in 5 years. Who's the Michael Jordan of 2018 comedy in Los Angeles? Yeah, 5-minute set, and he threw it all the fucking way. Was it drugs? No. What was it? It was confidence.
Yeah. Oh, you know who else was on that show? Was, let's see. I forget it.
He's not that important.
It's hard.
Dude, there was no women on your show, you fucking sexist. What the fuck?
We get some women on the show.
No, I know. I'm just that keeps happening nowadays. I feel like we need to have every minority represented on the show instead of just funny people.
Well, it's hard. Like it sounds so spoiled, but and arrogant, but like it's hard to go from the top venues, in the world, even, like sold out crowds, and then to like go do a bar show where half the people didn't even know it was comedy night,
and they don't give a fuck. They're just talking over you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that life.
Wait till you come out and do our show at the bar on the beach and see what that shit show's like.
Oh God. Well, it's a mic, so it's like.
Hey, I heard good things about the mic.
It's fun. It's fuck. I mean, I'll be honest. It's fuck. All this shit is fun. It's great. It's awesome. But like, when you have a crowd there and they actually laugh, it's way more fun. So,
I think it's a lot harder to do stand up for like a really small crowd or like 5 people than it is a packed house. I think
same.
A lot of comedians would agree that. Yeah, I think that's also why it's hard. It's like it's hard to get motivated to go do, a small mic. It's like you always want to go do like a big show. Obviously, every comedian wants to do that. So
yeah,
but just try to pick and choose. I was doing, I did this show at a hostel here in Santa Monica. great mic. Shout out to Hosteling Santa Monica. Ended up being, I get there and it's completely empty 5 minutes before showtime. I mean, not a single person. I'm like the first one there. And I'm like, oh, great. What did I sign up for? And then 5 minutes, a minute before showtime, it's completely packed.
Wow. How many people would you say?
30, 40. I mean, it's not that big of a room, but.
No, it's that's fine. For a hostel,
yeah,
they're all fucking and shit in bunk beds, and you're like, hey, by the way.
So we're looking to book a show in a shelter. You want to come out for it?
Yeah.
That happened to us a couple weeks ago.
Dog shelter.
Yeah, we did this show. I think I told you when I saw you that we had in what really could only be described as an airplane hangar.
Yeah.
And we set it up for about 60 people to be seated. And literally like 5 minutes before the show, there was 4 people, and 3 of them were below the age of 7.
There's like kids like playing cornhole with their dad, and they're like, "This is great."
The room is set up as a beer hall, so it's got all like the the games, it's got ping pong and
giant Jenga and shit.
Cornhole, everything. So there's all these people in there at like 6 o'clock with their kids playing, and we're like, "What the fuck is going on?" And the dude that opened the show is actually our board op. And his entire set, he gets like 5-6 minutes. His entire set, 75% of it centers around fisting. So he like walks in, he sees all these little kids, and he's like, well.
He's like, here we go. Let's get into it. Fisting. And I was like, there we go. The best was like the bartender's daughter was there. She's like 7. I was like, why is she here? What are you doing?
But it wound up being crowded. Within like 10 minutes after that, it like got, pretty packed. They had like 60, 70 people show. It was pretty good. They got their fisting lessons, as did the children.
Yeah.
It was a good time. Good time.
It was fucking wild. So where are you at with stand-up now? Like, what's like, you said you're getting up once a month, I believe you said earlier?
Yeah, I'm just trying to write more material. I had this whole bit about how being in a relationship is a lot like, being in a serious relationship is a lot like having a subscription to MoviePass. Because at first, I was getting benefits every day of the month. But the longer the relationship went on, the terms seemed to change. I could only see a movie 3 times a month, and that's only if the theater was in the mood,
Yeah. Get free tickets on your birthday.
Yeah. But MoviePass is like completely dead now, so that joke is becoming less and less relevant. So I'm just working on, that was kind of my closer, and I'm just working on, I think I just need to experience more life. I'm kind of a young buck, so I'm like,
how old are you?
I'm 27.
All right, yeah, you're young, tall, great eyebrows,
lanky.
Big old
dark
dick
complexion
hanging out the front.
He's everything LA has to offer.
How much time do you think? I was talking to Greg about this. Like, how much time do you think you have, like, total?
I I could probably do like 10 to 15 right now.
Like solid 10 to 15. You're like, this is all pretty good.
No.
Because I know I have a solid 5.
I could do.
Well, Greg,
I could go for 45, but
yeah.
you know.
I got a solid 7 inches. I mean, yeah. So no, I have like
a good solid like 10 minutes that I could go up and be proud of, and then
gotcha.
I could probably continue for a little bit after that. But I was telling Greg this the other day, like he's getting all mad because I like to write jokes that I know are funny. You know, it's hard. I think that's the struggle of any comedian. Like, go out and work material is a tough process.
Yeah, that you know that's not going to hit. You want to kill all the time, and you're like, I don't know how this is going to go. Yeah.
It was a very cocky thing to say.
Greg wasn't a fan of it.
I only do jokes that I know kill. So.
I'm like, who is this guy?
Yeah, dude. Crystal Lee and Brian Callen told me I had a good set, so I said, fuck it. I'm going to go buy AirPods and do a podcast.
He's got a big poster on his wall. Crystal Lee said I was the best set of the night.
It's like over your door when you leave, you tap it like Notre Dame games.
Yeah.
Just like on my way out, like, fuck yeah, Dalia said I did a good job. Dude, that's fucking dope. I'm jealous. I have an erection in my Lululemons right now. I'm bougie too, I guess. I don't have AirPods, but I have Lululemon on. So
I can guarantee you he has no idea who I am. If I ever.
I don't think he knows who he is. He seems to be all over the place, dude. The more and more I listen to those guys like podcasts and hear them talk, I'm like, they are just in their own, you know, they're in their own fucking world, dude. But that's so cool.
Dude, we saw a set the other night. Tim Dillon.
Oh, God, he's fucking great.
He blasted L.A. for 15 solid minutes.
Yeah, he's from Long Island. He's my favorite. I love everyone from Northeast.
Telling everybody how bad L.A. sucks.
Yeah.
It was the fucking best set of the night.
Yeah, dude, he's hilarious. Dude, his videos on Instagram alone, like the one where he's in front of like, you know those walls they have in LA that like are for Instagram, like for people to take photos and shit, like on whatever. And he was like posted up outside one and was like, there's all these fucking losers middle of the day taking photos. All this, dude, he's brutal. I fucking love him so much.
He's big. He needs to get on a workout program.
He's doing keto. He talked about it. He's on the keto diet.
It's not working.
Well, he's got a ways to go.
Cheetos don't count as cheese.
That's true. That's true. Can you have keto?
Nick,
Go ahead.
I was going to say, you're a trainer. What's your thoughts on the keto diet?
Without getting too sciencey and serious here, because I do take my job seriously. I mean, I think for certain people it works, right? Like if you are not that active and you're very heavy, yeah, it's probably gonna. It's definitely going to work if you change up what you're doing, especially a guy like Tim Dillon. But I know guys that are very active on, like for me personally, and a lot of my friends, I've competed in like bodybuilding and powerlifting. I can't fucking sleep when I do the keto diet, and it fucks me up. You know, I feel fine, my stomach's good. It's just I'm too wired. I can't sleep when I'm on it. But meanwhile, I know guys that have run fucking 50-mile races on it.
I have a great keto diet story for you. You want it?
Yes.
It's semi-gross.
Is this the Jets game?
Oh, my God, yes, it is. I told you this?
You've talked about it on the podcast, dude.
Jahan, do you know it? Did I tell you this?
No.
Oh,
no.
It's gold. Anyone else who's heard this, just turn the fuck off right now.
That's not the goal of this, Greg.
I was doing, well, at the time it was called Atkins. Now it's got a technical name called keto. So I was doing the legit high fat. You could not eat anything fattier than I was doing. I was eating like 2 cheeseburgers for lunch, chicken for dinner, like 9 eggs and cheese for breakfast.
Perfect.
It was unreal. And nothing but black coffee. So
men.
All of that protein, it's hard to, get your body moving, if you know what I'm saying. So I had season tickets to the Jets, even though I don't like the Jets. With my friends, we're in the upper deck. And I had my once a week fart coming on, right? That's all I could get. Once a week, I could get one fart out, right? It was just that clogged. And anyway, so it was time. And my buddy happens to bend over to pick up his soda as I let my once a week fart go. He ate it. I took out the entire upper deck at Giant Stadium.
Oh my god!
And you think I'm joking? I am not. Like people drowned. They literally had to leave the stands for a solid 5 minutes.
Been there.
It was unbelievable. To this day, it's the champion. It's a gold medal.
What about?
So
what
Nick,
about?
what
Go ahead.
Well, because what diet do you recommend for proper digestive health?
For digestive health, again.
Here for our LA crowd over here, you know.
Oh, the LA
Things we're-
crowd. Yeah, I know.
Things we're
Kale.
interested in. All right.
Kale,
Listen,
brown
man,
rice.
it seems like a cop-out answer, but the thing that I found with people, just been training people for as long as I have and training myself, it literally depends. It literally depends on what you can handle. I know for me, if I'm eating too many carbs or too many, I feel like I'm in a coma most of the time. Like I can't, even if it's rice and sweet potatoes. If I eat too many, I don't feel great. So you have to fuck around and see what works for you. There's some people that are vegan. They're like, I feel great. I'm like, awesome, great. That's if you can pull that off. But you know, some people can't. It really depends, and it also depends on their activity. Like, what the hell are you doing? If you're sitting in an office all day, again, keto will work. You'll be fine. But you know, it really depends.
I just want to shit properly and regularly.
Well, we need to get your shoulders stronger first, because I know you said holding up the phone was too much of an issue for you.
The answer to that is probiotics.
Yeah.
Got it.
But also with the again, I don't want to go down this path too much. With the probiotics, you have to have an okay gut as it is. Like if you just throw a probiotic down your throat, you don't know what you're throwing on there. Like you could have an overgrowth of a certain bacteria, and then you just added more of it. So like, it really depends.
Just drink a whole ton of that. What is that?
Kombucha?
Kombucha. Yeah.
Yeah, that fucked me up too. I have bad stomach issues, so I'm all about this. Do you have issues, Jahan? Should we talk about this? What's your colon like?
Can you describe the
look?
colon? What's the colon
I'm gonna
about?
fly to LA right now. I'm gonna take a look up there.
Please.
It's out of my scope of practice, but I don't care. I like to learn. I'm a hands-on guy. I like to learn.
Back to the
My
fisting.
pants are already. We can FaceTime right now if you need to take a look.
Yes. All right, podcast is over.
He's been holding his
Took a
dick
turn.
for the last 45 minutes, just letting you know.
Yeah, dude. It's just, I don't know. I'm pretty horny today. Anyway.
It's the right thing to say with three guys.
Right.
That's the cleanest thing he said all day.
All right, let's reel this back in. So back to the stand-up comedy shit.
Yes.
So
yes.
you say you're going up once a month. Greg has to go pee. Just whispered it. I don't know why. Just dropped all of his shit. So it just could be you and I, Jahan.
Finally.
I know, right? Greg fucking ruins everything. He's such a boner killer. I hate this guy. So you say you're going up. You're going up once a month. And where are you going up at? And are you going to start doing it more?
Right now, I'm becoming a regular at this hospital comedy club.
Man, how the mighty have fallen. You got compliments from Dalia and Callan. Now you're a regular at a hostel. That's cool.
That hostel, I will say, if you ever have the opportunity, or if anybody has an opportunity to do like a tough room, or even if because they're semi-foreign. I mean, they're speaking broken English. They're from different cultures. Like getting material that lands there is a good like gym for comedy, because if the material works there, you know it's going to work at a club where everyone's understand. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
yeah.
It's definitely it's a great place, because sometimes they don't always respond to written material as well either. So it's a great place for working on crowd work.
Yeah. You're just making fun of them. They don't know what you're saying.
yeah. So, well, it's like shout out to Andy Ruther, who's the host, who runs that room. He has some of the most polished crowd work I've seen. I mean, and shout out to Joe Prano also, who hooked me up with Andy. But so I performed there. We have a couple shows here on the west side. So I live in West LA, so it's farther from the Hollywood area. It's tougher to get over there. So trying to expand on the west side mics. There's a couple bar shows around here, and then I've done the Comedy Store, like some bringer shows at the Comedy Store. You know how that goes.
I do.
Just trying to right now I'm honestly just trying to find more shows to get up on. So if you know anybody on the West Coast.
I know no one, but you can talk to Greg.
If anybody listening needs a tall Persian comedian with semi-digestive problems.
Tall Persian rug salesman.
Yo, dude, I think we should try to put one together for that mid-December when I'm in town.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm serious.
West Side Unhinged comedy.
You know it.
Dude, I'm down. I'll give my solid 7 minutes.
Yeah, we got to get Scopes out here.
Yes. Dude, I would be so pumped,
If
man.
he just gets his shit together.
What do you mean? What shit?
I don't know.
Like my life?
Just a
Literal.
Yeah. No, I'm doing okay with that. I take enough shit to. I'm okay.
So
I'm
if you
okay.
could line up
Well-
like 6 dudes who need a colon exam, Scopes is out. And you don't even have to ask him twice.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm there.
We got to get you out here. Introduce you to my homeless friends over at the Starbucks.
Get you in a brand new 2019 Passat. You're gonna do 5 minutes. You're gonna peak at a show with headliners, and then you're gonna quit comedy and buy AirPods. That's my plan.
I think he actually should get a Beetle, like a Beetle convertible or the Bug, whatever that thing is called these days. Like a nice yellow one.
How do I become Persian? Can I convert, or how does this work?
we would actually the test is always we take you to go buy something expensive and see how something that's non-negotiable and see if you can negotiate it.
I got the dark. I'm Italian, so I got the darkness down.
Dude,
so
you
I'm
should do
trying
that
to-
in your act, man. You should do something like that in your act.
What, negotiate with the audience?
Yeah. Like a whole bit about buying a rug.
Oh yeah.
So that's like
Oh yeah.
that is a Persian attribute. Like, are your parents like that? Like they'll like try to talk you down. Like, no. We were into.
Well, it's funny. I went to go get a new car recently, and then I went with my parents, and they saw us walk, and you could see the kid he hesitated, ran back to get his manager. The 3 Persian people are walking in.
What,
I need a manager.
what kind of car? You don't even have to tell us the kind. You can tell us the brand.
I got an Audi.
Ooh, look at you. What number is it? Is it above 6 or below 6?
It's below 6.
Is it above 1 or above 1?
It's a 4. It's an A4.
I had that car once.
It's a great car.
Yeah, it's
It's
awesome.
a great initiation car for my Persianness.
Yeah, it's not bad. One of these days you can get up to a 7 and then really kick it old school with an 8. Race a bunch of Teslas in the fast lane.
I would really need a BMW to be totally Persian. That's why I went with the Audi. If I got the BMW, it would have been over the top.
You could have totally been an outsider and got the Lexus. That's more for the Russians.
Has your family seen you perform?
They did. They've seen me perform. They saw me perform in high school, and they would it was one of those things where, and they were always like, "Why do you like?" My dad's always like, "You're not funny. I'm funny. You are not funny." Why don't it's always the stereotype. Why don't you become lawyer or doctor or something that makes money?
Dude, I was just gonna ask that if they're because usually even Persian culture, right? Asian culture, they're like, no, stop fucking around. Like Joe Coy talks about all the time. His mom was just like, fuck you, stop, get a job, work at the post office. This is stupid. What are you doing?
Yeah. Amir K has this. He's a Persian comedian too. He has this joke. His mom's always like, "What are you, a clown? What are you, a clown? Our family is not a clown." So my dad's always like, "Your uncle got 2 PhDs and became a doctor, and you want to do comedy?" And I'm like, I guess.
You're like Uncle so and so sucks. Fuck that guy. Who cares?
I'm like, you can't even speak English.
I speak great English.
Fucking loser.
So they came and support. I mean, they would support me. They didn't know, especially in high school, how big of a deal at the high school it was. And then they came and saw that I was crushing it, and they were like, "Wow, this is great." My mom was still like, "That's great, honey, but you're never gonna do this professionally." Like, I won't allow it, you know? Like,
I won't
be real.
allow it.
My mom's always like, be real.
Wait till they hear the black dick joke.
They have not seen the adult material that I now really lean into, you know?
God, have you done like? Because I've been watching a lot lately. I've been watching like Mark Norman stuff, and like he's actually pretty dirty, but he goes on, you know, Fallon, Conan, all that stuff, and he does clean stuff. And do you have like a set of all clean stuff, and do you find that difficult if you do, like, to make that clean?
I don't have. I mean, I think I have more edgy stuff. I don't think my stuff's overly raunchy, except for those dick jokes that you heard.
Right.
I do have some like some darker jokes. I personally think that I would love to write more clean material. I think clean material gets you farther. I mean, you can be more like, you know, if you can get all four quadrants, if you can have kids come to the show. I mean, obviously, like if I want to put my capitalism hat on, like that's the way to go. You know, like the Seinfelds and the even, you know, Brian Regan. Like Brian Regan is absolutely hilarious and he's totally clean. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think it's definitely a skill. I think it's a skill. I think it's easy to be dirty and raunchy and gross and stuff like that. I think it's much more difficult to be a clean comedian.
For sure.
So let's talk about the LA comedy scene for a sec. You think it's harder there for an up and comer since it's so fucking packed and solid every night at the main spots to get any time?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's also, I think that it's, I mean, and correct me if I'm wrong because I don't know the New York scene that well, but there's just like, I mean, there's, you know, obviously there's some big clubs here. I don't even know where it is, but nothing here is walkable. So it's not like you can go see if you can get a set on one show and then like, if you don't, you could just walk to the next. It's like, you got to get in your car and sit in 30 minutes of traffic and get, you know what I mean? So it's like, there's kind of a disconnect. I feel like it's a little scattered, but yeah, I mean, everybody wants to be. I mean, I'm sure it's the same in New York. The market is very saturated right now.
I mean, in the city, most of the clubs, I think, even besides the Comedy Cellar, they all do like these new talent showcases, and
yeah,
some of them have bringer shows. I think the Stand even has a bringer show.
I mean, yeah, it's very obviously there's a big boom right now. I mean, with the podcast and the LA scene, and everyone knows fucking, you know, we went to see Santino, I think, when he came here in April. He was in Bridgeport, Connecticut. And people are calling out like bits he's done on Fighter and the Kid and like his own podcast. It's just such a boom now, and it's so well known. So a lot of people are trying it. Like, for example, I did Broadway Comedy Club in New York City, right? And I'm standing in this back hallway. It's no air conditioning. You're just dying. The wait staff's trying to walk around you. There's 20 people there, and I'm talking to some of these people, and like this is their second time doing comedy ever. And they're doing a showcase, you know, in New York City, but they just had to bring 8 people. So
right.
It's interesting, right? And like some guy, you know, it's an interesting time for sure.
But like some of the things I've seen in LA, that when they have these new talent showcases, they're at like 5:00 in the afternoon, or like super early.
Yeah, mine started at 6. So
yeah, but there's some that are late.
Yeah, that's true.
On a Monday at midnight.
Yeah. So it's tough. I mean, I think comedy in general is like, it's an interesting part. I feel like it's tough. I mean, to think about, like, it's not enough anymore to even have like a Netflix special. It's like, you got to have a good Netflix special.
Yeah.
You know?
You got to have
like,
a good one, and people,
crazy.
And even like popular dudes are getting turned down from Netflix.
It's wild. You ever go to a comedy show and they're like, their new special on Amazon, and you're like, I'm never gonna watch that.
That happened the other night. We're at the show. The second lady that came on, I forgot her name. What's her name? Shirley.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea.
Right? She comes on. She's this older Jewish lady. She's probably in her 50s, right? And they announced her as just having her first Amazon special.
1 hour Amazon special.
Like, who
never heard of her?
Is this? And they have a 1 hour like that they recorded in her
How
basement.
was she?
She was funny, but not.
She had to be like 172 years old.
Yeah, like she was seasoned.
It's in my age range. I'm looking for a woman like that.
She was still pretty hot though. I'm not gonna lie.
She did mostly crowd work.
Huh.
And like
Hour on Amazon.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. They talked about this as well. Like, Netflix turned down Brian Callen and Mark Norman and Joe Coy.
Really?
Yeah, Joe Coy he did it himself and then had to sell it to Netflix. They said no to him. He's selling out arenas 4 times over in Hawaii. And they're like, nah. You know what I mean? So, like, I don't know what the fucking criteria is. I have no clue about any of that shit. It's such a weird time. And now Disney has a streaming service, so who knows what they're going to do.
It's just pretty wild.
Just do an hour of Mickey Mouse humor. Try to get on to see the first comic getting on there.
Mice banging each other.
Yeah, just do Mickey and Minnie banging each other like, oh, shit like that.
I mean, it's pretty wild.
I should just do like really, really family friendly. You ever go to kindergarten and your mom doesn't pack your lunch? What the hell, Mom?
I asked for a snack pack. Why is there no snack pack in here?
What is it, the Welch's gummy pack?
I love those, though. But yeah, I feel you. Where the fuck are the Gushers? God damn it.
Fucking Gushers.
Those are the best.
Not a bad idea.
I don't know. I think the whole scene out there is insane. I don't know how. Like, I mean, I don't even consider you like an amateur. You're like legit. And
me?
Yeah, I mean, compared to people who are trying to like do it, you like ran a show, and I mean, it's got to be fucking impossible for people to just start.
It's tough. I think
you got not lucky, but you started sort of before this renaissance of stand-up really got nuts. You're 5-6 years ago, like that it wasn't then what it is now, not even close. So
it's tough. I think it's definitely like, it's interesting. I've seen some comedians go, and I think the key out here, just back to what we were talking about earlier, it's like you kind of have to just go and network and get really work on the material. But I've seen comedians even since back then who haven't made any progress. I mean, it's just there's a little bit of luck involved, and connecting with the right comedians and kind of eyeing the talent before they get big, like the D'Elias or people like that, like Eliza Schlesinger, who were like not as big as they are now. Like, I think it's just timing, it's tough. I mean, there's comedians, I still see them coming into the Improv begging for 5 minutes, Yeah,
I mean, when you look at the last couple of shows we've gone to, it's insane. Like the talent on those shows for 15 minutes at a time. It's
the fact that there's even a show called 16 Headliners is ridiculous.
I mean, they should change it to like 13 headliners, maybe 12, and then a couple of support acts.
Yeah, 13 headliners and an old lady with an Amazon special.
And the doorman opened up the show. He was funny.
Yeah, they have a good program. I kind of like that. It's like the Comedy Store does a good job of like doing like a structured path of growth. Like, you start as a doorman, you do the they have like a program, like the doorman program.
It's like it's the talent agency's version of the interns, or the intern program where you start. Yeah, the mailroom. You start in the mailroom, and then you're lucky enough to get shit on and fucked by 40 music agents.
That's why I keep hearing like these door guys get pulled on to like opening for Brennan Schaub or whatever. Like 2 guys, like they just got passed. They take it on the road with me, and it's like, wow. Like,
well, look at Alyssa out here. I mean, we go to this club where the door girl is now like headlining her own shows.
Yeah,
and killing.
Part of it, yeah. A lot of it is just like it's just like any other networking in business. So it's like the more they know you and they recognize you and you hang out with them, then it's like it's hard for me to go in and be like, hey, can I get 10? And they're like, who are you? We've never seen you before.
You're like, I'm John.
I'm 6'4" in Persian.
I did stand up a year ago, okay?
Chris D'Elia said I was the best set of the night. And Brendan Schaub tapped me on the ass like it was a football game.
And then he choked me.
In bed.
Yeah, perfect. We should have a show called 2 Guys with Dark Complexions.
Choking you in bed.
A solid 10. That's what we'll call
They
it.
call it jail. Or on your way.
Or I only go once a month. I don't know. I'm just riffing now. I ate too much shitty food yesterday, so my stomach's...
I haven't eaten anything all day. I had a fucking energy drink and a gigantic bottle.
You had another
Gatorade.
energy... Did you have a bang?
No, I had something else. It's around here somewhere.
That's incense. That's not your bottle.
I had Uptime.
Uptime.
And you know what? I think it might not be an energy drink because I have a raging boner.
It's got some sort of herbs in there.
Sorry, Jahan. This is what me and Nick do.
Let me get this straight. Both of you guys have raging boners right now.
So do you. Who are you kidding?
Yeah, dude.
I didn't even know that.
I just creeped your Instagram so I could get a visual.
You're in Santa Monica, like looking out at a VW parking lot in your fucking boxer shorts, hand in your pants. We know what's going on over there.
You got a girl, Jahan? You dating?
Pretty spot on. Not gonna lie. I am dating
Men, women, what?
women.
Women. Didn't you hear the story about the breakfast sandwich?
Yeah, is that over?
Yeah, sandwich.
Are you guys still talking?
Yeah, that's over.
That's not that long ago. That like literally, he showed up to drinks one night in LA when I was there a few months ago, and he's got this huge fucking bandage on his head. I'm like, what's that? He's like a bird scooter.
A bird on a scooter ran into my
I
forehead.
didn't give a shit about that. I just wanted to know where the sandwich was.
Right. Yeah. God, what type of sandwich was it? Was it like a vegan breakfast sandwich or something fucking stupid?
It's this breakfast sandwich at this butcher shop across the street next to the Starbucks that they only serve it on the weekends, and it's like a brioche bun
Brioche.
with like fluffy eggs and like thick applewood smoked bacon fresh from the butcher shop, a hash brown inside of it. I mean, it's like the most,
man.
it might be the best breakfast sandwich I've ever had in my life. No
So you
joke.
see why the sandwich is the only part of the story that matters?
Yeah.
It really is.
Not the 7 stitches, not that the girl had to go to a birthday party.
What'd the girl look like? What's her deal?
She was cool.
Yeah. Do you have a type?
We were, I don't discriminate, but I think people would say my type is blonde.
Yes. This is where I was going. This is exactly where I was going because I feel like when you're darker, you look for the opposite of you in a way.
Mm-hmm.
I think Jahan's a MILF hunter.
Like, Jahan, let's start a website, MILF Hunter. I don't think that's a thing yet.
I do have, my ex-girlfriend was a little bit older, not a MILF, but
In her 30s.
No, she wasn't in her 30s.
Oh.
But that relationship ended last year. Been single for a little bit.
I feel you, dude. Just out there dating, scrambling. Me and my buddy always have this term, scrambling for sex. We always send each other like the egg in the frying pan emoji. Like when you're texting a bunch of girls on like a certain night, you're like, "Hey, what's up?" And it's like, "Oh, you scrambling, dude? Scrambling for sex."
This town.
You know what? People text me that fucking emoji all the time. I have no idea. I just think they're hungry.
Could be.
I didn't realize
Or
I
they're
was in the
scrambling
game.
for sex, bro.
Take them up on it next time.
It's hard in LA though because I'm pretty sure most of the women here just want to fuck themselves. So
they're like they have a mirror above their bed and they're just looking at themselves while you're banging them all the time.
They just I mean, even when you're out, everyone's on Instagram, everyone's like focused on their own.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I haven't experienced LA yet. I would love to though. I keep hearing great things, but also I feel like I would feel like how Tim Dillon feels because I've been in the Northeast my whole life. I'd be like, look at these fucking idiots. What is wrong with these people?
I can't wait.
I went to Portland, Oregon, and I got off the plane, and everyone started making eye contact and saying hi. And I was like, what the fuck's wrong with everyone here? Like, why?
Yeah.
What do they want? I'm so confused.
Well, in LA, they just go up to you and be like, well, what can you do for me?
The homeless people in Portland didn't even ask for anything, which is insane. They just asked you how your day was going. I was like,
They asked how they can help you.
yeah, they're like, what's up, man? How are you? I'm like, I'm fine. How are you? You're on the ground right now. Like, you okay?
I will say the only place really in LA that I have found, well, you might feel the same way because you live down by the beach, is actually down by the beach. Because those people are so just they have nothing to do. They're just walking around the beach all goddamn day. They got nothing to do but be happy. You get into Hollywood and shit, and it's a completely different fucking story.
Totally.
All right. Well, we're coming up on the hour mark, and Greg is old, and his prostate can't hold up as well as it used to.
Definitely not today.
So, Jahan, let's plug everything you got and what you can be like. When are you gonna put me on a show? Do I have to send nudes? What's the deal?
I told him that next time he's coming out here, he's got to come a couple days early. We got to do a show with him.
Absolutely.
Definitely gonna plan around the unhinged comedy.
Yeah.
Don't have much to plug here. My Instagram's weak, but my Instagram handle is
yeah, I just went through it, dude. It's like sunsets and flowers.
Volkswagens.
Bitch.
It's like I was very anti like social media for a while. Still kind of am. I think it's bad for you, but
it definitely is. But there's no way around it.
Probably, I know. It's just why my comedy game isn't as strong as it could be. Because so like my Instagram handle is just like 6 consecutive photos of my ex-girlfriend's last birthdays. Happy birthday! Happy birthday! Happy birthday!
All right, that's cool.
Yeah. But my hand. If you want to see those birthday posts, my handle's JHAN_DJ. It's D jokes.
D jokes.
So Jahan _D jokes.
It's a lot of letters, man. I don't speak Persian.
I know.
I don't know how to spell.
And be sure to check out if you guys are in the LA area, the Big Show LA Thursday nights at the Hollywood Improv. What else do I have to plug? I'll just shout out to my friend's podcast, The Martini Scale, also, and then my upcoming podcast, Half Glassing It. I don't have the name yet.
No kidding.
You just get the name of your own podcast wrong? That's cool. Those AirPods are ruining your brain, dude.
Guys, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you so much, dude. It was honestly, it was cool talking to you, a young, handsome guy.
And thank you, likewise. But it's been a pleasure. I mean, I've been pleasuring myself this whole time.
We've heard. I've heard.
You just use a Sharpie and you're just coloring in your dick black so it looks bigger.
We didn't even talk about the intro video, but just wanted to say that it's been stuck in my head all morning. And
it's not going anywhere.
I actually don't think it's funny. I think it's legit.
All right.
I think it's dope.
I know people. I still
get the EP?
Used to it. Yeah, the EP.
Yeah.
We're dropping it soon on iTunes.
Yeah, it's on Spotify.
Dope.
Drake did a remix. It's dope. Meek Mill's going to be on the track soon. I'm very excited.
Word.
All right,
homie. Thanks, brother.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.